This is not a fairy tale love story. There are no perfect characters here, no dramatic background music, and no promises that last forever. This is a story about real relationships, the kind that begin quietly, grow beautifully, and slowly fall apart because of things no one teaches us how to handle. This story is about love, but more than that, it is about silence, expectations, ego, emotional exhaustion, and the painful truth that love alone is sometimes not enough. Ali was an ordinary man. He believed in routine more than romance. Life, for him, was simple: work hard, take care of responsibilities, and avoid emotional complications. Aisha was different. She smiled easily, laughed often, and seemed warm to everyone around her. But behind that smile was someone tired, emotionally tired from giving too much and receiving too little. They met through work. No sparks. No dramatic moment. Just a formal introduction and polite conversation. Neither of them knew that this ordinary meeting would slowly turn into the most complicated relationship of their lives. At first, they only talked about work. Emails, meetings, deadlines. Then the conversations became longer. Coffee breaks turned into deep discussions. Late replies turned into late-night chats. Ali noticed something rare. Aisha listened. She didn't interrupt. She didn't judge. Aisha noticed something equally rare. Ali stayed. He didn't disappear when conversations became emotional. That's how it started. Not with love but with understanding. One evening after work, they sat at a cafe longer than planned. The city lights came on, people left, but they stayed. They talked about childhood memories, failed dreams, fears they never shared with anyone else. That night, both of them realized the truth. This was no longer just friendship. Still, they said nothing. Because sometimes, people are more afraid of naming a relationship than losing it. Silence can only last so long. One day, Ali finally said it. He told her how he felt honestly, without drama. Aisha listened quietly. Her eyes filled with tears before she spoke. I feel the same, she said, but I'm scared. That fear was real. And that fear would later define everything. The beginning was perfect. Late night calls. Random messages. Small surprises. Missing each other for no reason. They believed they were different. They believed their love was enough. But reality always waits. Aisha wanted time, reassurance, emotional presence. Ali wanted understanding, patience, and trust. Neither was wrong. But neither knew how to communicate properly. Expectations increased. Effort slowly decreased. And disappointment quietly entered the relationship. Arguments were replaced with silence. Messages were shorter. Calls became rare. Both were hurting but neither wanted to admit it first. Silence doesn't solve problems. It buries them. Ali thought Aisha would understand without him explaining. Aisha thought Ali would change without her asking. Ego stood between them like a wall. And love slowly started suffocating behind it. A small misunderstanding turned into a major fight. Words were said that couldn't be taken back. Tears fell. And then came the sentence that destroys most relationships: maybe we're not meant for each other. Breakups are rarely sudden. They happen slowly when effort turns into obligation and love turns into pain. Aisha left. Ali stayed behind with memories and unanswered questions. Time passed. Both moved on, or at least tried to. But some people don't leave your heart even when they leave your life. Years later, they met again. No anger. No complaints. Just a quiet smile and an honest realization. We loved each other, Aisha said softly, but we never learned how to keep that love alive. Years had passed, but some conversations never leave the mind. Ali often replayed moments where he could have spoken differently, times when honesty might have saved them. He realized that loving someone also means learning how to express fear, not just strength. Aisha understood her own silence. She had expected emotional safety without clearly asking for it. She learned that unspoken needs slowly turn into resentment. Both understood the same painful truth: love doesn't fail because people stop caring. It fails because people stop communicating. Life taught them lessons love never did. Ali became more emotionally aware. He learned to listen without defending himself and to speak before emotions turned cold. Aisha learned boundaries. She learned that giving everything without asking for balance only leads to exhaustion. They became better people but for different lives. Sometimes, relationships don't end because they were wrong. They end because they were early. If they had met now, things might have been different. But reality doesn't work on what ifs. They didn't end as enemies. They ended as lessons. And that is the most honest ending of all. This story is not about regret. It's about awareness. Love is not just about staying. It's about growing together. And sometimes, the person who teaches you the most about love is the one you don't end up with. The story ends here. But in real life, stories like this are happening every day.